Okay, awesome. Back for part 2 of the custom skeletons to Unreal tutorial. Things I forgot last time. So right now we have the character weight painted to the custom skeleton that we made in the last video. We can see, you know, it moves with it, which is good. It's not the best weight painting. It's just what I did quickly in 20 minutes. And technically we're done in Blender almost. We can export this to Unreal. The only other thing to be wary of is that Unreal likes a bit of odd conformity with its custom skeletons, particularly for, well, even in Blender this would be called a armature technically. If you were to just make like a rigify thing, like a basic one, you see I made this one. It came in over here, and it's called meta rig right now. And if I were like to go through and do the generate rig, it'll generate a rig and that'll make a different object. Did I click it? Oh, it's thinking. It's thinking for a while. Okay, give me 1 sec. I'll come back when it's done thinking. Okay, that took longer than I thought it would for some reason. Either way, we can see there's now 2 objects with a little like character man icon. So one is called meta rig, and then this would be the basic bones. I'll just delete it because I don't need it. The other one is called rig. So we see that, you know, Blender likes to name things a certain way, and we see that the one I made is called root. And that's kind of the distinction that we have to make. Blender, it's not important for what we're about to do, but for things like root motion and making sure that the armature is correctly set up for Unreal, we do have to make sure it's named a specific kind of thing. Specifically, I think the topmost layer has to be called root, and I wasn't sure, so I named other things root as well. It's between this has to be named root, and then the topmost layer and the bone has to be named root. It's one of these 3. I don't know which one, so I just named them all root. But that has to work for root motion to work. Essentially, for it to know that this big bone down... Oh god, don't move anything. For Unreal to know that like this bone down here is supposed to be its root, I had to like name it this. But either way, now that we have all that set, what I can do is I can right click this the topmost layer of the hierarchy, select hierarchy. Because I have everything parented to the skeleton, it'll select everything that it needs to. I can go up to file, export. I'm going to export as a GLB. Give me 1 sec. I forgot where I put it. Okay, I'm back. I was just looking for the folder that I normally put it in. So down here is where you're going to name your file. I just have a specific naming convention for a game that I'm working on. But what's important is that over here on the right hand panel, we have these different little folders that we can open up. The settings I always have is that I always limit to select objects. So everything that's orange in the scene, that's what I want it to take with it. Let's see, transform plus Y up. I think that's by default. Let's see, anything else? If you have other modifiers aside from the armature, you can apply them. Materials, that's fine. Shape keys, all good. Armature. Export deformation bones only. And that's what I was kind of talking about with the rigify control rig. All those different like shapes and whatnot, those are not deformation bones. Deformation bones will only be the actual thing that look like bones. And that's what we want. And if we do this for like an FBX or with that control rig, it tries to get only the deformation, but it doesn't always do a great job. And that sometimes I might be able to try it out if I have extra time. But like if I were to just try to import that control rig from Rigify, like that the one that's at rig, it would like give me like some weird like jitters in the root, which is kind of annoying. It's not game breaking, but it is kind of annoying. And I'm not exporting any animations, but if you had like animations on the NLA track, you would check this and you would say, give me the NLA track animations. Again, not important for this tutorial, but I might do it later in the class. I'm almost certain I will. Either way, that's all we really need. Essentially, just select all these objects. I just want the mesh with the bone attached to it, or the bone with the mesh attached to it. So I'm going to export. It'll export as this name into this folder. Export. Spinny wheel means good things, I think. Cool. If I'm mistaken, I think it might be good. Let me pause and I'll bring it into Unreal in a second. Okay, I think the file's good. I was just checking something. If I go to my Unreal, which I already have it open over here. This is just the BR template demo. Essentially what I'm going to do, I'm going to open up my content drawer. Characters. I'm going to create a new folder. Going to call it models. It's probably a better naming convention, but this will work for me. Models. And I'm going to click this little import button over here, or I can right click in the space and click import to current folder. And I'm going to go look for my character, which I know is, oh god, Blender. This one. Oh, I've done this so many times. Okay, it's this one. This is what I remember calling it. I'm going to open. And this deserves its own tutorial. The whole rigmarole Blender's import settings. I'm just going to go default, so assuming everything's fine, and I'm going to hit import. But if I'm curious, I can always hit preview, and I can see what it's trying to import. It looks like it's importing all the textures that I had on it in Blender, its materials, and its skeleton down here. So that's good. So we have the skeleton, we have the mesh data and the materials. It looks like it's getting everything that I want. So I will hit import. We see it's importing. There are issues with the import. I always have this. I don't think it's anything important. Oh yeah. This is some weird bug. I've never had it cause any issues, but it just says I did something wrong, but never found out what. Either way, we see we have a new folder in the models folder. So this is what it'll give me. If I click on it, it separated my materials into its own folder. So if I click on that, I can see all the materials that I had on my character inside of Blender. And it's just processing its textures, well, its materials. That's why they're all a little checkered. But we see they're coming in slowly. Click on textures. We have all the textures that were on my material. If I had them on there correctly, I'm quite aware I didn't have all of them on there correctly, so that's fine. But we have our character. It's getting a physics asset, we have its skeletal mesh, and we have its skeleton. So if I double click on the purple one, we can see it brought in the character. Because I didn't set up the textures correctly on the model because I was just doing it quickly, it got what it could. So I just really cared about the mesh, but we can see like the textures aren't correct. That's fine. We can always just reassign them over here. Not that important. What we care about for this is the bone structure. And I can see that my bones came in all right. And I can really test this by, let's see, going to the little eye icon, looking under bones, and clicking all hierarchy. And it's a bit hard to see. Jesus, my camera is flying. It's a bit hard to see for this one because I just chose a unfortunately dark color. I wonder if I can there we go. That's better. That's odd. Oh no, I can see. That's fine. Yeah, okay. So all the bones are there. I'm trying to see if I can like show this in a better color. Wireframe. God, that's not much. You know what? That actually gives a nice contrast, although it looks terrible. Well, we can see we have all of our bones from, you know, would be the right arm down to the right hand. It connects by the clavicle. That's all mirrored. We have the legs. We even have the root bone. And if I wanted to test to make sure that everything is connected and works, I could grab something like this character's right thigh and I can move it and we can see that it is weight painted correctly. Well, mostly. Again, I was lazy, so I can see like some of the weights are a bit wrong, but that's okay. At least for this demo purposes, most of the weights are good enough that I can model with it. And I can always fix them later. Yeah, there's just... the shoe, part of its weight is probably connected to something on the right leg, so it's pulling part of the mesh. But that's more like tweaking. I know that it works. Yeah. Again, I was very lazy with the weight painting, so that's okay. As long as I know that I can move it and like it's moving the arm, that's fine. The rest is just tweaking. Let's see, for the spine, yeah, all things are good. Even the head works. Nice. So that's how you bring in like a custom skeleton. And we got the root bone too. So let's see if I move this one. Good. Oh, beautiful. And that's why I wanted to focus on this instead of focusing on like the weight painting aspect, because essentially I would just spend, you know, the next 2 days correcting the weight so that it deforms more goodly. You know, you don't have this clipping of like the skin appearing through the sweater. Again, it works. It needs better weight painting, but the skeleton works. That's good. And that's all we really cared about for this. Essentially what we're going to do next is the final step, which is creating its own custom control rig. I have a little bit of time left in this video, so I can start that process. So from the skeletal mesh that we imported in, if we right click on it, we can go up to create and look for a new control rig. There is something called a modular rig. I've used this before. It's supposed to like making the control rig easier. In 5.4, it was a little bit buggy for me, so I'm not going to use it. I'm just going to do it the manual way. But there we go. So I now have a control rig, so I right clicked, went to create, clicked the control rig, then I made this one. And this is the control rig for this skeletal mesh. So if I double click this one, I say double click. Oh. Yeah. It'll open up this new control rig blueprint in which we can, again, I apologize that the colors are hard to contrast. I'll change this to unlit. Oh God. Why is the camera so fast? That should be good. There we go. And we see we have the bone structure in here, this little graph for its forward solving, and then this details panel, which we'll play with in the next video, as well as this little drawer down here, which has the bone hierarchy. And there's a lot more things in this file, as well as in the skeletal tab. I'm just focusing on the things that are important to here, because Unreal has a lot of stuff in it. But you only have to care about what you want to care about, which for us will be assigning controls all to this hierarchy, making sure it's connected up with the forward solver so that we can move it, and we can just do like a little quick animation in the editor. So with that, I will see you guys in the final video in a second.